JKB back with another video. Today on the show I'm reviewing Ratchet Clank for the PS4. I'd like to thank Sony for sending over the review copy. And listen, before I get into the review, I want to get right into the review. But before I do that, I want to say it means the world to me that you support my show and share it across all the social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And that one dude who still messaged me on MySpace. What does he want? I don't know. He probably wants nudes. I sent him those, but no, he didn't want those. So I'm just fucking talking now, ranting about nothing. Thank you so much for watching the show. Let's get right into the review. Thank you for watching. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Kiss your butts. Mwah. Ratchet & Clank is an action platforming game based on elements of the original Ratchet & Clank that was released on the PS4. You will explore the galaxy, and in this game, it features new planets, new and updated gameplay segments, new bosses, new Clank gameplay, all new flight sequences, and a new weapon, which is my favorite, called the Pixelizer, which turns enemies into explosive 8-bit pixels on screen. And of course, you have the fan favorites, including the Groovatron and the wisecracking robotic bodyguard, Mr. Zircon. The story of Ratchet & Clank is the weakest point for me. Is this just an average game with a freaking amazing visual palette? But the story in this, it just was disappointing. I didn't get that emotional connection I got with the last game I played, which was Crack in Time, and that was spectacular story and just spectacular script, amazing dialogue, and I felt for the characters. In this, I have to be honest with you guys, and I know that some of you are not going to be happy with some of the things I'm going to say about this game, because you know it is a great game, and I know it's a great game. But the unfortunate part is when a team takes everything that is great from a franchise that is 15 years old and stuffs it into a $49, almost feels like just a DLC add-on game with quite a bit of stuff to unlock and do. I mean, I have to be honest with you guys. If another studio ever did this with their franchise and just recycled the best bits of the whole franchise and plopped it on a disc and called it a reimagination, people would lose their fucking minds. But because this is a beloved series, people, I think, love seeing it on the PS4 and in all its glory. But I have to say, this is not a creative game. It's not. It's essentially take all the creative old ideas we had from the old series and put it onto a new game, and that's what it is. It's not innovative. You're not going to see things you've never seen in a Ratchet & Clank game, except two weapons, and that's it. Now, I'm not being super negative here. I don't want to come across like a dickhead. I just want to be honest with you guys. The game is average. Let's be honest here. It is an average platformer with ideas that are literally 15 years old. Let's just get into the pros and cons. Before I get into this, I think a lot of people might misinterpret what I'm about to say. A lot of these problems that I have with the game are just based on the fact that this is a recycled game. I'm just going to be honest with you guys and saying that I played the franchise since it originally came out on the PS2, and I'm an absolute hardcore fan of Ratchet & Clank. I loved all of the PS3 titles. They were emotional, gripping, and they had me interested in the characters. And on top of all of that, the gameplay in these games is the main reason you play them. This game, however, has disappointments. I'm going to get into them point by point and then get into what's good. First thing I need to bring up is the fact that this is a short game. It's 10 to 12 hours, but it is also only $49. The next one on my list is just a disappointment. I don't think it really is good or bad. I think it just falls in between, and that is the fact that there are 3 new weapons in the game. One of them is unlockable based on a collection system, and the other 2 you can purchase and whatever you'll find within the game. One of them is called the Proton Drum, which essentially replaces the turret from the original Ratchet & Clank, and this is a bit of a disappointment. I feel that it is useful in areas with a ton of enemies, but overall I found myself never really going back to it. I prefer Mr. Zircon over the Proton Drum. The other thing in this game that isn't a disappointment is the Pixelizer. As you know, if you haven't played a Ratchet & Clank game, I'll explain it quickly. These games are all about upgrading your weapons and having an absolute fucking blast shooting enemies. And the pixelizer is spectacular. It shoots out a laser that turns enemies into 8-bit characters on screen, and you could smash them with your Ratchet and you see the pixels explode. It's one of the best weapons I've ever seen in a Ratchet and Clank game, so thumbs up to that. The next thing I want to talk about is game design and backtracking. When you're in a game that has so many different levels and you can fly to them from your ship at any point, why in the hell would you not put enemies back into the area that has already been cleared? In this game, when you backtrack, there are no enemies on screen except the fucking minor grunts. Do you know how upsetting that is? This means you literally walk through a level for minutes at a time, shooting and destroying nothing whatsoever. Unbelievable. This is such a bad design choice. This is a game that is designed for you to upgrade your weapons and have enjoyment shooting enemies. Once you beat the level in the first playthrough and go back to it to collect your 100% PSN trophies, there's nothing to shoot. I don't know, is it just me or am I crazy here, but I think that's a design flaw. So that's going to definitely take points off of the main score. The last one is about balancing and how difficult the game can be at times. In the original Ratchet and Clank, the standard weapons that are given to you in the original first couple of levels are one shot, one kill, meaning if you shoot an enemy once, he dies, and you get points to upgrade your weapon. And I'm not talking about the skill tree points that are in this new remake, I'm talking about the weapons themselves upgrading over time as you use them. In this game, the weapon upgrades seem like they're doing absolutely nothing because the difficulty is through the roof on every single enemy, meaning you'll be shooting them over and over and over until they finally drop. You will get upgrade points when you're doing this, but you'll never feel a significant upgrade to your weapons until you start to really upgrade them within the upgrade system. Let me talk about the positives because I've been harping on this for being recycled. And at this point in time, I just have to say I'm disappointed because I was expecting more from this game, but it isn't supposed to be a sequel. It is a remake, and I have to say that there's so much to love about this as well. The comedy is spectacular. Just like in every other Ratchet and Clank game, they've nailed down a script that is self-aware, makes Ratchet and Clank laugh out loud. And you know me, I live in a room literally down by the river alone with Kylo Ren posters all over my wall. I'm lonely, someone come hold me. Second of all, the most addictive upgrade system really in any platformer ever, period, is in this game. I love the fact that it keeps you coming back to upgrade your weapons. You do that by simply using the weapons and also collecting rare titanium. Rare titanium will be hidden in crates, hidden behind walls, all over the place. You'll get this stuff and then you'll go to a shop and upgrade your weapons. Once you start to upgrade your weapons, you'll see the full potential of the game and how much fun it really truly can be. The last but not least thing I need to talk about are collection cards. I just had a seizure. Collection cards have three aspects. One of them is simply to collect and learn the bios of each character and enemy in the game and ships and all of that stuff. So if you're new to the franchise, that's a plus. The next thing that the cards do are unlock one of the new weapons. The Rhino gun is only unlocked when you collect all of the cards for that gun. Last but not least, the cards will also give you a passive upgrade, such as more ammo when you pick it up, and more rare titanium, holy crap, when you pick that up as well. I have to say, the last thing for sure, Ratchet & Clank, the remake, is a must-own if you have never played Ratchet & Clank. This is where you want to start because this is a retelling of the original, and it'll allow you to be able to go back to the PS3 titles and even the PS2 titles, which have been HDified on the PS3. So go pick up that pack if you're a huge fan of Ratchet & Clank on the PS4. Overall, I give Ratchet & Clank a 7 out of 10. Is that Is that a bad score? No, that means it's an average video game, and I think that the series at this point in time is losing a bit of steam. The innovation is definitely not here. When you see the same thing over and over in a franchise that is 15 years old, just because it is spectacular doesn't mean that is always going to be that way, because gamers, as myself here, get sick of the same thing over and over and over. But was I dying for an amazing platforming experience on the PS4? Yes. Was this an amazing experience? It was pretty good. It was an average experience. I think that if any other franchise out there did the same thing that we've seen with this, I think people would be fucking pissed. And that's just my opinion. So thank you for watching this. It means the world to me. I had a good time with it. I'm just being honest with you. I feel a little burnt out from this franchise. I feel that the same thing is being done over and over and over, and nothing new has been brought to this game. Is there a reason to play it? Well, if you miss Ratchet & Clank, go out and buy this, because it is a spectacular, just looking game. It looks like a Pixar film is happening in front of you on your PS4. Don't get me wrong, there's amazing moments in the game, but overall, 7 out of 10, what are you gonna do? So until next time, I'm JKB, and I'll see you on the next episode. Don't kill me.